The sky is falling. The sky is falling. That's what we've been saying for years. In the original version of Chicken Little, it was just some nut falling out of the sky. But in the Disney version, yes, it's actually aliens coming to destroy our world. What am I talking about? Well, the fact that we've been saying for years that Disney prices at Disney parks keep going up and up and up. Well, now a major publication has come out and says that Disney parks experiences are now a luxury item that are inaccessible to most people and most families in America. Let's talk about this bombshell report here on That Park Place.
At a fortune, of all places, Disney World is unaffordable for average American families. Has Disney become a luxury experience? It's by Tia Adams.
Yes, next story.
Okay. Yeah, I thought I heard a yes right there. This is January 28th, 2025. I like to go over stories like this because, for one, I like to see what the industry is actually saying, and especially at a fortune, what the industry financial analysts are actually saying about it, because obviously it's like, oh hey, increase revenues all you can, but have they gone too far? That's the question right now. Walt Disney World is charging up to $194 for admission per person per day, pre-tax, propelling a once attainable family vacation into the realm of a luxury experience that many Americans can no longer afford. Behold the Magic Kingdom's evolution from mass entertainment into a playground for the aspirationally wealthy. 50 years ago, a family of four could visit for $262 in today's dollars. Wow, that's... Shoo, man, we are long past that. Park, right? Now what? A family of four, $262. That's roughly $60, $70. Is that right?
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. But I do appreciate how the writer actually, or the author of this article, actually goes into why, not only through the price increases of tickets, but also to the other things that come along with the vacation, and why it's so much more dramatically expensive than just the cost of entry. Even as the park expanded throughout the decades, ticket prices remain relatively modest. I don't know about this, Marvin.
Modest is, Disney has always been expensive. It has never been an affordable experience for anyone, I think, unless you're super rich, but it has never been impossible to afford before. And I think that is kind of what has become for middle and lower class families. Lower income, I should say, not lower class, middle and lower income families. It's borderline impossible now. You got to stay for like a decade in order to go.
Yes. And I would say they've always outpaced the rate of inflation. And there was a chart I was going to bring up, and if I find it in time, I'll go ahead and show everybody. But so in the 1980s, right before the Disney company really had to decline, during that time, people will know, if they understand the Disney history, Disney was shelling out so much money for Epcot. They were financially strapped in that regard, and their films at the box office weren't doing all that well. So they were trying to earn as much revenue as they possibly could in order to keep the stock price high, because, well, there was greenmailing going on. And some angel investors came in, saved the company, and then that's where the introduction of Michael Eisner comes from. And Michael Eisner's like, hey, I need a bunch of capital in order to fund my projects, both studio, park related, everything else. And so what do? They increase prices of the tickets. And so it does tend to rapidly decline, I would say, late 70s, early 80s, and then it goes way, way up. And then 1990s, Paul Presser is introduced. That takes it up a notch, and then it really gets out of control with the Iger era, especially, I would say, 2007, 2008, 2009. That's when it goes like way, way up. And then obviously the Bob Chapek era, it just, sky's the limit. It's just huge, massive increases.
Right.
But you're not going to get that nuance, unfortunately. That's unfortunate. Even as the park expanded throughout the decades, ticket prices remained relatively modest. In 1988, when Animal Kingdom roared to life, a family of four could still enjoy a peak season day at the parks for less than $300 in today's currency. Okay, fast forward to 2025, and the same family faces a staggering $766 pre-tax bill for 4 one-day peak season tickets. This price tag doesn't include the perks that once made Disney special. Now we're getting into it. Like the ability to get shorter wait times for popular attractions. To put this into perspective, a similar experience at Universal Studios would cost $100 less, while a trip to Busch Gardens Tampa would save the family over $300. Now, to get on attractions, Marvin, what are they referring to when it comes to costs associated with
I
that?
believe it would be formerly known as Genie Plus, now known as Lightning Lane, and of course the impossible to afford Lightning Lane Premium.
Yeah, the Premiere, which is,
yeah.
Ranging anywhere. I mean, if you go to Animal Kingdom on an off day, maybe you can get that down to, $1.75, something like that. But if you want Magic Kingdom at peak time, you're going to be paying well over $400 per person per day for that privilege. And again, that doesn't include Park Hopper. That's the one park. So again, a perk that used to be included like FastPass now has been segmented out and charged its own fee. This stark price hike mirrors the post-pandemic K-shaped recovery, where everyday Americans wrestle with wage gains that are not keeping up with their even higher prices, from everything from dairy to diapers. As Disney's ticket prices soar to new heights, many families are left wondering if the House of Mouse is still a realistic vacation option. Marvin, what do you think about that little line right there?
I think it hits the nail on the head. I mean, it's unfortunate because families of all types used to be able to go to Walt Disney World, used to be able to stay on property. And even if they had to save for a few years, Vash, they felt like they got their money's worth when they went. And I think the real kicker about this thing that they have now made it less affordable than ever is there is less value in a Disney vacation than there has ever been before. Your ticket used to, because people used to always say like, oh, the Magical Express is free. The Magical Express was free. The Fast Pass is free. No, it's not. It's baked into the price of your admission. It's factored into the cost of your ticket. So they have removed these things and removed things like daily housekeeping at your resort. But the prices continue to go up. So they're removing value and making it a more premium, expensive experience. And it's absolutely heinous. Now imagine being that family that's saved for 5, 6, 7, even 10 years to go and you get the modern Disney experience where, okay, well, now I'm at the airport. Now I got to pay $90 plus for an Uber to take me to my resort, or I got to pay for this smelly Mears bus to take me there. And then you're there and you gotta shell out more money then for Fast Pass, otherwise you don't get on any rides. Or and cast members with lax appearance standards and septum rings and tattoos and blue hair now on cast members, which is just the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. Visible,
it's like a Spider-Man cartoon.
Things and it is like a Spider-Man cartoon that, thank God, Vash, thank God, is not woke, right? According to the Star.
Oh man,
that is the next article going up on that Park Place, by the way.
Yes, my biggest fears, Marvin, was that it was going to be woke. We just dodged a bullet with that.
Yeah,
there's so much representation there. But yes, I mean, for declining appearance standards, remember that was implemented in April of 2021 in the lead ups to.
I really missed the Disney.
I the same, right? That Disney culture that you expected to encounter when you interface with a cast member, right? They're just not as nice as they used to be before. They're not as accommodating as they used to be before. They just, something has really, really profoundly changed, and you can feel it. But the value, I think, is so critical here, Marvin, as this article goes on. Over the last 10 years, Disney World ticket prices have grown at almost 9 times the rate of inflation. But that's just the start. Many elements of the Disney experience, like Marvin was pointing out, that once were free, and I think I agree with your assessment that they were included, incur add-on fees. Not only are you paying more, but you're getting less for your spending. In many ways, Disney has introduced a tiered pricing scale that creates a virtual, quote, caste system. Whoa! That's a big deal. In the parks, things like skip the line passes and airport shuttles that used to be included, I will go ahead and correct here, are now profit drivers, which is disheartening for fans who grew up believing in the pixie dust. Ooh, see that? Pixie dusters, you have some representation here as well.
Not only was Magical Express, like it set the tone for your trip because it was a Disney themed bus. Even the seats, the upholstery of the seats were themed to the experience. You got to watch that "Welcome to your Disney Vacation" video. Like it was every day you go to the parks, you come back, you have a pristinely clean room. Like magic. But now it's every other day, even in deluxe resorts. It's absolutely insane. It really is sad, the loss of Magical Express. And for me personally, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever, because isn't it all about maintaining people within a Disney bubble? Now that
now that people have to find alternative modes of transportation, it's like, okay, well, if I have access to Uber or if I have access to a car, maybe I'll go over to other places in the Florida area. Go ahead, Marvin.
Yeah, well, one of the things that I used to absolutely love about Disney was the fact that you were so encased in the Disney bubble while you were there. I enjoyed stepping away from reality. However, now they've injected reality and modern deism into the park so much that now I just feel stranded in the middle of a place where I don't want to be. And something like, Lorena just did a wonderful review of the Stella Nova. Lorena Creole, I'm talking about, did a wonderful review of the Stella Nova Resort over on that park place. And one of the things she highlighted as being a positive is you're within walking distance of a Chick-fil-A and a Publix. And I was like, 15 years ago, I would not have found that to be a positive. Now I find that to be a positive. Because Disney does not encase you in a magical experience anymore. You are
Correct.
very much reminded of the world that awaits you outside. I mean, what are the two things they don't sell in Walt Disney World, Vash? Gum and newspapers. Because, gum for obvious reasons, because it'll make a mess. But newspapers, because they didn't want to remind you of what was going on outside the gate. Now it's all they want to remind you of.
Yes, that is so true. It's and think about it, with Universal coming online with Epic Universe and them mandating that, hey, you got to spend a couple days at our resort in order to even get access to Epic Universe. Why wouldn't anyone do that? It's like it. Mm-hmm. When you're reminded of the outside world, when you're reminded of all the other things in the Florida area, if you aren't encased in the bubble, then people are, I think, willing to give other experiences a shot as long as you provide them value or some of the things that they might be lacking over there at Walt Disney World. So right. It's just it's so profoundly important. I like this next point right here. We're going to go ahead and skip the lightning lane portion because, well, we get it. In a move that would make Scrooge McDuck proud, nice, Disney introduced extended evening hours, which come at a price. This perk, which replaced the old extra magic hours available to all Disney Resort guests, is exclusively available to guests staying at Disney's Deluxe and Deluxe Villas. Want to enjoy the coveted low crowd hours after the park closes? Well, better be ready to splurge on the priciest rooms on property, which can top $1,000 a night in the peak season. It's just another layer in the Disney guest experience, offering extra magic to those willing and able to pay top dollar. While it's a nice bonus for deluxe resort guests, it's not hard to feel like the gap between the haves and the have-nots in the Disney parks continues to widen. I would have to agree with that assessment. And also, too, I want to bring up this tweet right here real fast, which really kind of underscored this point. This is old Disney, new Disney, TRVL truth. Dear Walt Disney World, we're paying $600 a night to stay in a nice but average resort. Stop charging extra for keeping the park open to its previously normal closing time. I remember, I think.
So they're charging. They're charging resort guests now for the extra magic hours.
No, yeah, but average resort. So they're charging more for people not staying at a deluxe resort. It would appear.
Okay, so extra magic hours now are no longer what used to be extra magic hours are no longer free. If I'm understanding this correctly,
they're no longer they're no longer included for anybody other than deluxe resort guests.
Wow, you used to get extra magic hours at All Star Music and daily turndown service.
No more, Marvin.
That's evil.
No more.
That is just evil. What is the point of staying there anymore? Oh, I get to ride your smelly buses? Great, because those buses are terrible.
They are. Don't worry though; they're coming out with an EV line. I'm sure of it. It'll make it all the better.
Yeah. Right around the same time, they're gonna get those new monorails with the augmented reality windows that they were talking about.
Hey, wait a minute! I've heard this bedtime story before. Are you talking about Broken Promises, Marvin?
Can't believe I believed that at one point.
Man, terrible. It's just a mousetrap this place has become, and it's just every attempt to charge you more. And like this post actually says, that used to be closing time for these parks. I think WW Pro actually has a fast pass for like Big Thunder at like 1 a.m. or something, which is just wild and insane to think about the fact that they used to be open regularly during that time, but and Disneyland they still are, but Walt Disney World they are not. People are figuring this out, and I like this last testimonial right here. quote, "It feels like I have to spend $5,000 or more for it to be not only enjoyable, but really just ensure we actually get access to the rides that we want to ride." She says, this being Sarah here, contributing to this article, that's about what it costs a family of 4 to have a nice long weekend at Disney, including tickets, airfare, and hotel. And then it says right here, Sarah's family says, "My kids still enjoy going to Walt Disney World, but I am looking for new places to actually enjoy spending that kind of money." She says, at this point, a family of 4 can fly to Paris, visit Disneyland Paris itself for less than a trip to Orlando.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's utterly insane. It used to be like, hey, you might not be able to go to Paris, but you can go to Epcot and tour around France and speak to French people and kind of get the experience for less money. Not anymore. Now it's like you go to a different country and do everything a la carte, and it's more than this encapsulated experience that you're supposed to be able to get.
yes, it has become the premium luxury experience that it was looking to separate itself from. The Fortune does bring up the fact, though, that the good news is that customers can vote with their feet. Disney itself predicts park attendance will be down 2025. Yes. On an earnings call, CFO Hugh Johnston admitted lower income customers will, quote, feeling the stress, which to me is an understatement of the millions priced out of a Disney World vacation. And even the higher income customers were trading Disney trips for more far-flung locales like Paris. So there you go. Hopefully Disney gets the message, because the value statement that used to be there, like Marvin said, you could just visit, many different European nations along Epcot for a nominal fee. That's no longer the case. The value just isn't there.
You used to be able to drink around the world for, and not mortgage your house to do it, and they can't do that anymore. It's easily $120, $150.
It's all far too much to take.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.